Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said the European Commission had not learned from its mistakes and is once again proposing solutions that will not solve the problem of illegal migration. We want to send a signal to the European Commission and all the political powers, including the civic platform in our country, that there is no consent to illegal migration. But we also want to send a clear message of warning, because Lampedusa is such a warning. All of Europe may look like this at Lampedusa if we wade into the same mistakes, the same schemes, the same mechanisms that the European Commission has proposed. In the resolution, the government calls on the European Commission to fundamentally change its migration policy and effectively seal the Union's borders. One of the government's main tasks is to ensure the security of its citizens. The disturbing developments in Italian Lampedusa are one of the manifestations of the growing migratory pressure on the European Union. In response to the European Commission's proposals in the so-called Migration Pact and the 10-point support plan, the Council of Ministers recognises that the illegal flow of migrants into the European Union is as a consequence of the EU's flawed migration and asylum policies. The Council of Ministers calls on the European Commission to take adequate and immediate actions to stop illegal influx of people into the European Union, abandon proposals that encourage illegal migrants to come to the European Union. The only way to fight this invasion is to actually seal the borders in real terms, also issuing decisions to return those who have made it across the border to their home countries, and possibly some other solution, but always related to getting rid of them from our own territory, in this case from the territory of the European Union. The European Commission's 10-point plan is actually an incentive for illegal migration. Support the transfer of people out of Lampedusa, including to other member states, using the voluntary solidarity mechanism and with particular attention to unaccompanied minors and women. In addition, the European Commission wants to move away from the compromise reached in June 2018 and reinstate the mechanism for the compulsory relocation of illegal immigrants to European Union countries. It violates the sovereignty of states to decide who enters the country, because the state is trying to impose itself in this way. It encourages both migrants and smuggling mafias to bring as many migrants here as possible, because, after all, if the European Union accepts that you can drive across the border, it's as hollow as a sieve, and we're going to just deal with the problem here. That's an incentive for criminals. According to the estimate by the International Organization for Migration, the number of migrants was 38 million in Europe in 2019. Lampedusa is an island located between African Tunisia and European Malta. It belongs to the Italian Republic, so illegal migrants have to travel a distance of only 140-odd kilometres to be in the European Union area. Poland is a frontline state due to the conflict in Ukraine. There are certainly also huge changes ahead of us in Belarus. It could be a beneficiary of such a migration pact and also receive aid from the European Union. And we will certainly work on such solutions in the European Parliament, because migration as such simply cannot be swept under the carpet. About 13,000 migrants arrived in Lampedusa in just a few days. The island's population is just over 6,000. A tourist spot on the map of Europe has become a centre of illegal migration. A state of emergency is enforced there. If we are not unequivocal and do not say that we are closing the borders to human traffickers and illegal migration, then the situation will absolutely escalate. Law and Justice has posted on social media a video warning of the dangerous consequences of migration location in Europe. Ursula von der Leyen, after her visit to the Italian island of Lampedusa, announced another disastrous plan for Europe. The safety of our continent's citizens, and therefore the safety of Polish families, women and children, means nothing to European bureaucrats. There are no terror neighbourhoods anywhere in Poland. There are none because the Law and Justice government, contrary to what Donald Tusk is now telling us, is successfully defending our borders against the wave of illegal migrants. Poles overwhelmingly oppose the relocation of illegal migrants to Poland. Donald Tusk for years supported a mechanism for the forced relocation of migrants and now avoids questions about the issue due to the continuing election campaign. If the Polish government is actually one or two or three in Europe determined not to participate in the solidarity sharing of responsibilities on the refugee issue, if the Polish government is actually one of two or three in Europe determined not to participate in the solidarity sharing of responsibilities on the refugee issue, it will inevitably involve certain consequences. These are the rules in Europe. More and more countries are changing their attitude towards the EU's open door policy for mass migration. France and Germany have decided to stop accepting migrants from Italy. The Slovenian opposition is calling for the deployment of the military on the border with Croatia, and the Czech Republic last year decided to reintroduce controls on the border with Slovakia.